So hello, I'm going to show you another Zendoodle. This will be Zendoodle number 3. And I decided instead of doing it the way I have been doing it, I'm actually going to do it right on the card that I'm making. So I've already started this one. Cards are a really cool way to share Zendoodles or to do Zendoodles for a purpose. And I'll just show you a couple of that I've done. So here's one that I did a while ago. And you'll see some familiar patterns. We've done that pattern before, and this one. Like most of these patterns are ones that I've already shown you how to do in the previous ones. Here's another one. You'll see some familiar patterns. This is from Zendoodle number 2. This one was from Zendoodle number 1. This was from Zendoodle number 2. There's some new ones in there, but you'll recognize them. This is one of my favorites. I think this is a cool one. I found this idea in a book. So I just copied it and did it in a Zendoodle. And all I do to get my circle shapes or my square shapes, my circle shapes are actually, I used a big can of tomatoes to make this big shape. You can use any can or any circular object to do that. You can use a roll of masking tape or a roll of tape and copy it. And then this was the last one that I've done that I'm going to do a special Zendoodle on just how to do flowers, because flowers can be kind of fun. So this was one that I did for Mother's Day. But today I'm going to be working on a new card that looks like this. And this one I just took, again, I took a can of soup. Here's my can of soup, and I just traced it. I just traced a can of soup and created these circles. And now I'm going to fill the circles with a Zendoodle. Now I've already started this particular Zendoodle, which is the stacked cups. And I'll just show you how to start that one. It is not hard to do. So this is from Zendoodle number 2, but I'll just show you my practice for this one. So for this one, to do the stacked cups, you kind of do a backwards tree. And you come back down and you kind of make that kind of a shape. So there's your basic cup shapes. And then I'm going to go across like this because this will be where my cups join. Make this a pretty bold line. And then I'm going to put the shape in that shows me that this is nesting inside the other one. All right. And I'm going to do the same up here. Go across. Make this look like it's nesting inside. And then if this is my top one, I would make it, my pen's running out of ink. I'm gonna have to get a new pen. Make it so that it looks like, whoops, it looks like it's full. So that's the basic shape. And then I decide on what side I want my handles and what I want my handles to look like. And then this one, I'm going to have the handle go here. And then I'll have the handle on this side. And then it looks like my cups are sitting stacked on top of one another. And then from there, you just decide how you want to decorate. So I might decide to do something like that. And I might decide to do some lines in here. For one cup, this cup I might just decide to put some swirls on. This cup I might decide to draw a cat on. Maybe some polka dots around it. So there you go. And that's what that looks like when it's all done. So for this one, I've already started doing my designs. And I just make stuff up. So for this last one, I think I'm going to do the fan. This is from Zendoodle number 2. You might recognize this pattern. So there you go. So there, that cup is done. Those cups are done. And now I'm going to fill in this piece with something. I'll probably do one pattern on this side. I'll probably do a different pattern on this side. So on this side, I'm going to do a pattern that we already know how to do. I'm going to turn my work this way because it's a little easier to do. And you might recognize this one because it's one we did a while back. All right. So, and then I'm just going to go up and around and down, up and around, up, just like I'm making waves, or I'm writing the letter C in cursive writing. And same thing here. I'm going to pretend. Sometimes filling in the pieces that are missing is the hardest part because you have to sort of think, okay, where would that line be? Because it's behind something. And I'm going to turn it back this way, and I'm going to do the same thing up and around, and around, up and around. Writing that letter C, or making those waves. And there you go. So that's that pattern on that side. Now, the pattern I'm going to do on this side is very similar to this one, but it is what looks like a basket weave. So I don't know that I've done it. Oh, here it is. So it's this one right here. So this is the basket weave. And it's a little bit complicated, but it's not too bad. So we start off with drawing squares. Same way we did circles over here. And we sort of make our circles as equidistant as we can. We're going to do the same thing here with squares. And again, I have to remember that this pattern goes behind my cups. So I'm going to have to make sure that I put the squares where they would be behind the cups. And I'm going to try as much as possible to make my squares about the same size. I'm not always very good at that, but that's okay. It all works out once you get the pattern going. And there would probably be one right there. We'll put the tip of one there and the tip of one there. All right, So now this is kind of an inside, outside, inside, outside. This one takes a little bit of time to practice. So I'm going to show you over here really quickly. I'll just draw a few so we have more to see how this works. And these squares are not very good because I'm going really super fast so I can show you. So I'm going to go inside, outside. So I'm going to draw inside, those two lines. And then this next line is going to be an outside line. So an outside line. And then an inside line. And then an outside line. And then I do the opposite down here. So this is going to be an outside line. And this is going to be an inside line. And then an inside line. And then an outside line. And then an inside line. And then my next line would be an outside line. So you see how those, I've got in, out, in, out. And here I've got out, out, in, out, in. And then I do the same thing up here, sort of. I imagine that this is a ribbon that's going underneath or has been woven underneath. So those are all inside lines. And then these are all going to be inside lines as well. So you see how that works? And this one is a little bit more complicated just because you have to think about what it looks like. So it's almost as if I've taken this strip and I've gone under, 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 and then I've gone under, 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 and this is going over, under, over, under. But it ends up looking like I've woven a basket. All right, so I'm going to go back to here. So I've got my squares, and I'm going to go inside, and then this is going to be an outside. This is going to be inside, and this one's going to be outside. And this one's going to be inside, and this one's going to be outside. And this one's going to be inside. This is going to be inside, and this one's going to be inside, or outside, depending on which way you're looking. All right. Oops. And then this one's going to go inside and outside. All right. And then if I turn it, I do the same thing. This is going to go inside, so it's going over. Let's go that way. I made a little mistake, but that's okay. And then just because I like the way it looks, I can do the color in the squares. And there you go. So there are the cups with the basket weave and this fancy one that I don't know what we're going to call it. And now I'm just going to trace my pencil line around. And trace my pencil line around so that that bubble is completely done. There you go. So up here, I'm going to do a heart one. So I'm going to draw a line going down straight. And then another line. And then another line. And again, I want those lines to be fairly similar. This one's slightly wider than this one, but that's okay. And then I'm just going to go in and I'm going to make a heart on each side, half a heart on each side. And then I'm just going to keep going down. And there you go. There's that heart one. So I'm going to do another one. I'm going to put a really thin line. Whoops, that got wider as it went down, but that's okay. And then I'm going to put another line. And another line. Those got kind of wobbly as I went down, but that's okay because nobody notices your mistakes once you get them, whoops, all in there. And again, my one line is way wider than the other one, but that's okay. Kind of adds to the charm. And it doesn't have to be perfect. See, I missed there, but that's okay. And I just imagine that it just keeps going down. So there's that part done. On this side, I'm just going to put some swirls. And there you go. Just fills it in, a little bit of darker beside the light. I'm going to turn this, and I'm going to make a nice wide line. And I'm going to do one of my favorites, which is this one. This is one we've already learned how to do. I'll trace my line to there. It is very windy today. I don't know if my phone is picking up the wind that's howling outside, but it's very windy today. So there's that one. And then I'm just going to put another little thin line to separate. And then I think the one I'm going to do next is, I'm going to steal one from one I've already done. Maybe I'll do the zigzag one. That's kind of a fun one. Maybe I'll put more swirlies in here, swirlies. And I'm going to put some circles going up this particular one because it's a little crooked, and the circles will make it look a little less crooked. And I'll put some circles here. And I'll put some circles here. Oh, there we go. Oh, now I gotta finish this up here. Like that. Now, this particular one, I'd already decided that I was going to do a little bit of mixed media with it. So what I've done is, I don't know if any of you have heard of alcohol inks, but this is an alcohol ink piece of paper, and it's done with rubbing alcohol and these very special inks that you get. You can get them at most. Fine paint stores. I get mine at Kensington Art Supply, and I was going to put that on there like that, so that it's kind of a mixed media. So there's that Zendoodle number 3, all done. So after I finished filming that, I decided I'd add some color just to make it look a little bit more like the Zendoodle belonged to the picture. So this is the final result.